The world of molybdenum, the making of a modern metal. Molybdenum, it's hard to pronounce, it's not easy to mine, and until fairly recently, nobody was quite sure what to use it for. But today, molybdenum, pronounced molybdenum, is almost everywhere, in our cars, in our homes, our buildings, and infrastructure, and tomorrow's technology. It's produced on 5 continents and sold all over the world. How did molybdenum, or Moly for short, become so important? The answer lies just 15 miles from here atop Fremont Pass, where the world's most productive moly mine began about 100 years ago. The story of molybdenum mining begins at Climax. That's a molybdenum ore rock. The world of molybdenum. Coihone Mine, Southern Copper Corporation, Climax Mine, Thompson Creek Mine, Mount Hope. Where does moly come from? Molybdenum. Discovery, 1879 to 1915. Prospectors thought the bluish-gray mineral found on Bartlett Mountain in 1879 might be graphite or maybe galena. In 1895, it was finally identified as molybdenum, which had great potential as a steel alloy. Now, new mining claims soon covered the mountain and some exploratory tunnels appeared, but profits didn't. Moly still had too few uses and cost too much to process. 30 years after its discovery at Climax, molybdenum remained a metal in search of a market. When the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad reached Fremont Pass in 1880, track building crews dubbed it Climax, the highest point on the line. Late 1800s found the vicinity of the Hopper Mine, Leadville, Colorado. This is a rail tie. It's pretty awesome, right? Industrialization, 1916 to 1926. World War I made molybdenum a hot commodity. By 1910, molybdenum was known to toughen steel and improve its resistance to heat, making it popular with makers of engines, ball bearings, and when war broke out, weapons and armor. Probably why it was recently cyber attacked. Demand spiked and prices soared as, at long last, investors saw profits in the Climax claims. The Climax Molybdenum Company formed in 1916 and brought mechanized drills, ore conveyors, and other industrial technology to Bartlett Mountain. The mine roared to life. Moly began shipping in 1918. Will St. Clair, Grey Goose debuts using moly steel in 1921. 1922, U.S. Navy tests T-1, an early all-metal plane. Perched high on the slopes of Mount Bartlett, the original Climax mill could process 250 tons of ore a day. This is a U.S. Geological Survey text of 1919. This is an Ingersoll rock drill with shaft, circa 1894. This is fabulous. This is a certificate of first aid training. 1927, world production of moly steel, 300,000 tons. 1929, stock market crashes, Great Depression begins. Okay, production begins at Phillipson Tunnel. Cananea copper mine, Mexico produces moly as a byproduct. Leap of faith. 1927, 1938, Great Depression, not at Climax. Brainerd Phillipson. As the U.S. economy nosedived, Climax molybdenum soared. A new mill and deeper tunnels drove up production, but the big breakthrough was block cave mining. Climax perfected this method, slashed production costs, and saw output and revenues skyrocket. The company built employee housing, stabilizing its labor force by creating a model company town atop Fremont Pass. How does block cave mining work? Strategically placed explosions weaken rock so that it's crushed by the weight of the mountain above, vastly increasing the size and speed of production. Built in the 1920s, Climax's new haulage tunnel and mills stood downslope from the original facilities and increased the mine's capacity to 1,500 100,000 tons of ore daily. 1937, U.S. stopped selling molybdenum to Japan and Germany. Look at this. This is an early 20th century laner drill. Here's a man operating it. United States War Production Board. 1940, Climax Observatory opens. U.S. enters World War II, 1941. Bingham Copper Mine begins moly production, 1942. Pushing the limits. Ted Mullings made Climax's safety and training programs entertaining for more than 30 years. His colorful cartoons introduced new hires to Climax. Tour the mine with Ted. Climax Moly helped the Allies win World War II. With steel-hardening metals such as tungsten and nickel in short supply, the War Production Board turned to molybdenum and to Climax. The mine nearly doubled output during World War II, producing tonnages far beyond its intended capacity. Military officials assigned top strategic priority to the site and defended it with barbed wire fences and armed guards. Men and machinery worked around the clock as Climax earned a prestigious Army-Navy production award. Climax always demanded a lot of its miners. The high altitude, long winters, and physical isolation scared off many a seasoned hand. During the war, Climax asked more than ever. Equipment broke down, supplies ran short, and everyone worked extra shifts. Though the workers never wavered, it would be impossible for this country to fight the war successfully without molybdenum, wrote one analyst. Climax's miners made sure the moly was there. The top-secret Climax High-Altitude Observatory was built in 1940 to study the sun's corona. Its data led to improved weather forecasting and radio communications. Victory! Nazis reveal surrender to Western allies, Russia. 1945, World War II ends. All-American Town. In 1953, Climax became the first town in the Colorado Rockies to get TV reception. Choose a channel to see and hear remembrances of the town.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then he built Climax.
To be that far away, to be that all alone on a mountaintop, and just feel that close to the sky.
And truly, it was a heavenly feeling to live there.
I always felt odd. You start out as a worker, which is just a guy with a shovel.
He was an underground miner.
And he started out on a muck stick in the mine.
When I went up there, I first worked in the mill, and I rated as a woodpicker, as a spirals man, as a tripper operator. There was a lot of interesting work. It was all super specialized. The company had built a big recreation hall. Kids would come down and hang out there a lot.
3 times a week, we had movies at the rec hall.
For a while, they used to have a bingo game.
And in the summer, of course, there were Little League baseball teams.
I remember playing ping pong all the time.
And then the company had bowling alleys at the rec hall. They'd have tournaments and give out a little trophy and all.
Even the public dances they had, not just for students, but for our parents as well. I loved to go to those.
We had everything any other kid would have, only it was right there.
Pretty amazing, right? 1959, U.S. manned space program begins. 1952, Climax High School wins the state boys basketball championship. 1958, China reveals existence of vast moly reserves. 1960, Climax Town is dismantled, houses moved to Leadville. That is so cool. Check that out. And we're going to go see some of these houses today. Okay, cash cow. Demand for moly grew relentlessly, and so did Climax. Global industrialization stoked the world's appetite for moly, while new markets emerged in high-tech sectors such as electronics, aerospace, and petrochemicals. Unable to keep pace via underground mining, Climax gradually shifted to open pit operation. Production reached record levels, but cost and competition increased too. Still, with 500 million tons of reserves on site, Climax remained the largest producer of molybdenum in the world. The shift to open pit mining in the 1960s and 70s boosted production to more than 15 million tons of ore per year and more than 40,000 tons a day. First moon landing, 1969. I'm trying to find when they bought the actual ICBM missile loader that my son works on now. After 55 years of continuous production, Climax fell silent. As long as molybdenum sold for about $1 a pound, Climax ruled the industry. Few other mines could turn a profit at that price. But prices quintupled in the 1970s, triggering a flood of competition. New technology enabled copper mines to extract molybdenum from waste materials. Caught off guard, Climax lost half its market share and began laying off workers, ceasing production entirely in 1982. The closure ended the longest era of prosperity in Leadville's history. Climax mine suspended production September 1982. 1999, Honda Insight, first mass market hybrid in the U.S. Molybdenum, the 21st century and beyond. Metal molybdenum is a relatively short history, a little more than a century, but its future is unlimited. The technology of the 21st century relies on molybdenum, and new uses are being developed constantly. New sources are being found too, not only in North America, but all over the world. And there's still plenty of molybdenum to be mined at Bartlett Mountain, and it will be when the market is right. 100 years from now, who knows where the story will be. This is the thing I care about the most, safety. Please, God, protect my son when he's out in this mine. This is what he works in. Mining is safer than you think.